Bonjour.
Bonjour. How are you?
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French.
The whispers began in Paris. Jim Carrey, the legendary comedian, stood on stage accepting an honorary award, but the celebration quickly turned into a worldwide mystery. He looked different, acted different. His movements seemed off, his eyes a peculiar shade, his voice a ghost of its former self. Social media erupted, not about his achievement, but with one chilling question that sent shivers down spines. Is that even Jim Carrey? The internet exploded with claims. Was this the real star, or had something far more sinister taken place, sparking a terrifying theory? Was it a clone sent to replace him?
Researched my whole life on what the entity was before I got there, you know. My intention was to get in there and kick up some dust and try to become a whistleblower that they don't knock off. Because, you know, they get all the whistleblowers.
This wasn't just idle internet chatter. After the footage dropped, the world grappled with the jarring shift. Longtime fans compared recent clips to old interviews, meticulously pointing out every perceived inconsistency. His jawline seemed altered, teeth looked different, and that distinctive voice, once vibrant, now sounded softer, slower. It wasn't just cosmetic changes. Critics felt an entire essence was missing, an unnatural shift they couldn't ignore, fueling the escalating debate.
There is a huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like two conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a Caesar Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64. I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against those in power.
The most unsettling detail, however, focused on his eyes. For years, Jim Carrey's brown eyes were iconic, expressive. Yet in Paris, many observers were convinced his eyes appeared green or even blue. Is it lighting, aging, or something else entirely? This specific physical change became a cornerstone of the conspiracy, suggesting a fundamental alteration, an identity shift that ran deeper than just surface-level appearance. It pointed to a truly unnerving possibility. Recent explosive comments about Hollywood's secrets and whistleblowers suddenly intertwined with the Jim Carrey saga. Williams explicitly stated his intention was to kick up some dust and try to become a whistleblower that they don't knock off. Fans quickly connected these dots, wondering if Jim Carrey, a vocal critic of the industry for decades, had perhaps become a target himself, leading to this shocking transformation.
Tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, you know, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, you know, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And and I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
Jim Carrey's history of speaking truth to power is extensive and well documented. He's infamous for delivering powerful, unscripted speeches, lambasting government corruption, unchecked capitalism, and those in positions of immense authority. He's openly criticized the very structure of Hollywood, calling it fake and questioning its core values, never shying away from controversial stances that few in his position dared to take. His outspoken nature made him a unique figure.
Okay, and what nationality are you?
Sicilian and Puerto Rican.
Okay, Sicilian and Puerto Rican. Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Those
That's
are my
what's up.
two genomes.
Okay, so who's the Puerto Rican one? Who's the Sicilian one?
When I was cloned, they wiped a lot of memory, but when I stole the documents before escaping, I read that the mother was Puerto Rican and I guess the father, surrogate, you could say, was the sperm donor was the Sicilian.
Okay, so you're a test tube baby.
Yeah.
What's that?
Shout out CLONED.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you could actually, as soon as you die, they could actually freeze your body. It
Well,
costs like
what
$200.
happened with my first gen is they took the skull because he initially had written in a will to the Raelian movement that if something were to happen to him, they can ship the skull over immediately to CLONED. So they can remove a fragment of bone that's located here. And in this fragment of bone, it stores all of your memories and consciousness. And with that, they can make a sufficient replica of yourself, a reproductive version of you, including your memories. And you can be selective as to which ones you keep or don't keep. This process has been around for quite some time. Like Dolly the sheep was cloned back in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Dolly the sheep, yeah, I remember that. And they've cloned a lot of animals over the years.
Yeah, CLONED, I don't want to say too much information. This is going to be broadcast on the internet.
But I don't think they could transfer the actual memories, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You're living proof of this?
Yeah, I'm living proof. Except
Okay.
all the memories. A lot of them
All
I
the
don't have
memories.
because of drugs and alcohol as a teenager. So it's kind of like burning an MP3 CD, right? So let's say, we don't do this, people don't do this anymore, but back in the day, you would bootleg a CD, you would need the original copy. You put it in, it reads the disc, transfers all the files. You have the same exact CD, it's the same thing. All the tracks, everything, every bar, every hit from every note, everything's gonna be on there. Now, if I scratch that CD, I may not be able to read all the files on the disc, making it impossible to transfer and make a new one, a new copy.
Recall that chilling red carpet interview where he famously declared, "None of this is real." He told a stunned reporter that he didn't believe in personalities, in icons, or even in his own existence. He said there was no meaning to any of this, describing life as a field of energy dancing for itself. This profoundly philosophical, almost detached perspective went viral years ago, cementing his image as someone who had seen behind the curtain.
Jim Carrey was devastated last September when his 30-year-old girlfriend killed herself. Now, 10 months after the funeral for makeup artist Katrina White, the just-released autopsy report details her final days. She left a suicide note for Carrey. They had broken up the week before. I've spent 3 days now in disbelief that you're not here. I can go on brokenhearted and try to put the pieces back. I could, I just don't have the will this time.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
Chris Spargo is a reporter with thedailymail.com, which obtained the autopsy report.
Jim Carrey texted her the night before, saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
The toxicology report says she had multiple drugs in her system, including pain medication prescribed to an Arthur King, who is believed to be an alias used by Carrey, according to published reports.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
Carrey last spoke to Katrina White via FaceTime for 3 minutes. Her body was found 4 days later in her rented home in Los Angeles. In her note, Katrina left the funeral arrangements up to Carrey.
We know they called Jim Carrey first when they found her body after finding her cell phone, before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
She ended her note to Carrey saying, "Please forgive me. I am just not for this world." She signed it, Dewdrop. the pet name given to her by Jim Carrey.
Back then, people interpreted his remarks as spiritual awakening or a deep understanding of fame's dark side. But now, juxtaposed with his Parisian appearance, the narrative shifted dramatically. The Jim Carrey in Paris seemed eager to play the part, smiling, joking, acting like everything was perfectly normal. Critics online found this drastic change in demeanor unsettling, almost like an actor returning to a role he once abandoned. Did his deep convictions simply vanish overnight?
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Well, you don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it. It needs a scraping.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things and, you know, and you know, look at them trying to...
This radical shift in persona fueled the most extreme theory. Had the Illuminati finally gotten their loudest whistleblower? Many speculate Jim knew too much, spoke out too often, becoming a liability to powerful unseen forces. The idea of him being silenced by replacement, specifically through cloning, became the terrifying answer for some, a narrative that combined two potent conspiracy theories into one disturbing possibility.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right, because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
The concept of human cloning, while seemingly ripped from a sci-fi novel, isn't new to internet lore. Other celebrities have been subject to similar claims. One example surfaced when a figure named Kid Buu publicly claimed to be a clone from a secret US facility. He detailed a chilling process involving skull fragments, memory transfer, and the ability to selectively retain or erase past experiences, lending an eerie credibility to the replaced celebrity narratives.
Today the world was World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, you know, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And out 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism. Or, well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, he was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact. There was no response to dialogue. There was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect, and this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
And treatable.
Fully functional. He's
Completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so public with? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism? And they refuse to this day to sit down.
I think if there was any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look. And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering, they're discouraging it.
Kid Boo's account described how a skull fragment could store memories and consciousness, enabling the creation of a sufficient replica, a reproductive version of an individual, complete with their transferred consciousness. He even referenced Dolly the sheep, reminding everyone that animal cloning has been a reality for decades. This chilling narrative suggests that what's possible in laboratories for animals could be secretly applied to humans, explaining sudden, inexplicable celebrity changes.
I'm standing by what used to be Zorro Ranch, Jeffrey Epstein's massive property in New Mexico. And as of now, no one's really investigated exactly what happened here. Zorro Ranch is in Stanley, New Mexico, about 30 miles southeast of Santa Fe, essentially in the middle of nowhere. Epstein owned the property from the early 1990s up until 2023, and some people have accused him and others of wrongdoing at the ranch. Zorro Ranch is mentioned multiple times in the Epstein files, including an account by late survivor Virginia Giuffre.
Many of the survivors had experiences in New Mexico, and as we've learned, there were local politicians and other people that were aware of what was happening in New Mexico. So it's really important that at this point in time, a closer look is taken with respect to that property.
New Mexico State Representatives Andrea Romero and Mariana Anaya put forth a resolution to set up a truth commission on Zorro Ranch. And on Monday, the New Mexico House passed that measure. The bipartisan group will investigate allegations of abuse and trafficking at Zorro Ranch. Epstein died in what was ruled a suicide in a New York jail in 2019 while facing federal charges. When I asked lawmakers why there had never been an investigation into Zorro Ranch before, their big answer was, we don't know.
He was a known sort of gallivanter, ladies' man around town. They called his ranch the Playboy Ranch of Santa Fe. We know very little, if nothing, about, and certainly not a lot that the news has reported on, and what has been reported on is nothing short of alarming. And so for any sense of justice to be had, we have to tell the truth. We have to tell the story of what happened.
Of course, there are pragmatic counter-arguments. People age, faces change, voices soften, and yes, cosmetic procedures are common in Hollywood. Lighting can drastically alter eye color in photos and videos. Yet for proponents of the clone theory, these explanations fall short. The key, they insist, isn't just his appearance, it's his henergy. The old Jim had an unpredictable spark, a wildness and intensity in his eyes that many believe is now absent.
Jeffrey Epstein has leaked emails of people going out and doing hunts. What? Hunting for pleasure. All hunting them like game. The heck? There was actually a woman that's leaking the information of what she said was a Rothschild's hunting trip, right? And specifically certain types of people too, which makes it even more disturbing. This is to Epstein, going to mean Lana's party now to hunt. Why would you be going to a party to hunt? Snipe hunt is over. Moon cricket in a field bag. And then the bottom is so messed up. Look, guess what? Their words. No. Yeah. That's what they're saying in the email. There's speculation they would take a whole bunch of throw them into like a forest, on a deserted area, enclosed where they can't escape, and they would hunt them like game. And what's even more crazy is, what if this was the first step before consumption?
It makes sense.
There's no exact proof yet where these locations were.
Okay.
And I don't think necessarily was the island.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thrilling hunt from Ariane de Rothschild. Amazing old male. Amazing hunt.
What the?
She's talking about who she got.
A deeply tragic event from Jim Carrey's past is often cited as a turning point, or even a warning. Years ago, his girlfriend took her own life. This devastating incident is interpreted by many as a message, a severe warning delivered to Jim for his outspoken criticisms. Her final note, which left funeral arrangements to him and concluded with, "I am just not for this world," is seen as profoundly cryptic by those who believe he was being pressured.
Something strange is going on. Jim Carrey recently showed up looking different in Paris. Very different.
Reports from the time revealed a disturbing detail. Jim Carrey was reportedly missing pills from his medicine cabinet before her passing, and the toxicology report indicated multiple drugs in her system, some prescribed under an alias believed to be his. The immediate contact with Carrey after the discovery, even before her family, further underscores the intense personal connection and the immense emotional impact it had on him, potentially forcing a significant choice.
Remember that famous red carpet interview where he said none of this is real? Where he told a reporter he doesn't believe in personalities and that we don't matter? That clip went viral years ago.
Then there's Jim's infamous all-mocking tongue rant. In a seemingly jovial interview, he blurred the lines between comedy and stark truth, making hand gestures he jokingly called gang signs, and linking them to a secret symbol of the Illuminati. He sarcastically claimed talk show hosts were hired by the government to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. This clip, now recirculated, is seen as proof he was always hinting at deeper truths.
That clip is now being shared again as proof, because Jim Carrey has always blurred the line between comedy and truth. He says things in a funny way, but sometimes there's a deeper message under it. That's what makes him interesting.
His evolution from the wild comedic genius of The Mask to a more quiet, reflective, and philosophical figure has been evident over the years. He began discussing concepts like ego, identity, and the illusion of self, often describing his famous persona as merely another character he played. This profound internal shift makes the sudden return to a seemingly carefree demeanor in Paris even more perplexing and, for many, deeply suspicious.
Many have alleged that this may have been one of the venues where Epstein purportedly conducted human hunts.
Critics also remember his controversial stance on vaccines with Jenny McCarthy. Years ago, they appeared on national television, publicly questioning vaccine schedules and advocating for biomedical treatments for autism, claiming their son Evan had fully recovered. This ignited a massive backlash, generating headlines, intense criticism, and heated debates. After this storm, Jim seemed to noticeably step back from such public commentary, leading some to believe he was effectively silenced.
This really makes you wonder why people didn't listen to Jim Carrey sooner. If we had perhaps been more willing to take action, a lot of lives might have been saved. Do you think the Jim Carrey we saw in Paris is still the real one? Let us know in the comments below.
The parallels between Jim Carrey and Cat Williams continue to emerge. Williams, like Carrey, has criticized the entire system of distraction, suggesting that while we remain divided, entertained, and emotionally charged, larger forces operate quietly behind the scenes. This isn't just dramatic speculation. The idea of powerful industries shaping narratives and public perception is a foundational concept in media studies, hinting at a far broader agenda. Many have since alleged that when Jim Carrey warned about secret societies and subtly advised kids against entering Hollywood, he was actually trying to hint at something far darker: the Jeffrey Epstein network and its collaborators. While direct proof remains circumstantial, the timing of Jim's alleged replacement, suddenly after the Epstein files started to surface, makes the connection seem chillingly plausible to many observers. Recent developments only amplify these suspicions. The state of New Mexico has officially reopened a criminal inquiry into Zorro Ranch, Jeffrey Epstein's vast property, once described as the Playboy Ranch of Santa Fe. This isn't mere internet rumor, it's a state attorney general announcing a renewed prosecutorial review into a site mentioned multiple times in the Epstein files by survivors. This signals a serious and ongoing investigation. Local politicians in New Mexico were reportedly aware of goings-on at Zorro Ranch, yet no thorough investigation occurred until now. State representatives Andrea Romero and Mariana Anaya successfully pushed for a truth commission to investigate allegations of abuse and trafficking at the secluded property. This bipartisan effort seeks to uncover the truth about a place shrouded in secrecy for decades, finally giving a voice to survivors. Perhaps the most disturbing allegations concern Epstein's purported hunting trips. Emails surfaced suggesting hunting for pleasure, not for animals, but for people. One particularly chilling account describes a Rothschild hunting trip involving specific types of individuals. And the speculation goes further. These hunts allegedly occurred in deserted, enclosed areas, with victims treated as game, leading to horrifying theories about the ultimate fate of those captured. The depth of these recent Epstein revelations, coupled with Jim Carrey's past warnings, forces a reevaluation of everything he said. If we had taken his cryptic messages and passionate outbursts more seriously, if we had been more willing to look beyond the surface of his comedy for the deeper truths he often veiled, might more lives have been saved? The question hangs heavy in the air, a stark reminder of what might have been. The Jim Carrey we saw in Paris undeniably presented a new persona, one that clashed sharply with the philosophical, outspoken figure he had become. Whether this change is a natural evolution, a strategic withdrawal, or something far more unsettling remains a chilling question for his fans and the wider public. Was this an industry veteran simply embracing the spotlight again, or a silent testament to the very systems he once dared to expose?